What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Overboy and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2004 movie Meet The Fockers. So in this movie, Greg Focker and his future in-laws, along with his fiancée, go to Florida to meet his parents. And just like with the first movie, all kinds of craziness ensues, and family drama and all that, sprinkled with tons of humor throughout the movie and everything. And I gotta say, this is a pretty good sequel. It recaptures the magic of the original pretty dang well and everything. They do a really good job at expanding from the first movie, the relationships between Jack and Greg and everything, and how they've gotten to where they get along a lot better and everything. But Jack still doesn't fully trust Greg and stuff, and I think that was really cool how they just were able to continue the story and everything, and it does a really good job with continuing it and everything. Like, most comedy sequels don't do that. It's really hard for a comedy sequel to be as good or even close to as good as the original, and this movie does a pretty good job at almost being as good as the first one and everything. They do a good job with the jokes. They don't really rehash a lot of jokes from the first one, which is something that a lot of comedy sequels love to do, is rehash and remind you of the first movie. And this movie doesn't really do that. It does have a few little throwback jokes, but nothing too big that would ruin the movie or anything like that. So they did a good job with that. And I think the jokes are really funny throughout. There are some really, really funny moments in this movie, especially when Greg gets the truth serum. That scene is just absolutely hilarious and everything. I love Ben Stiller, and when he goes funny and stuff and kind of does little rants or does weird stuff in his movies, like this scene when he's drugged and everything, he's just absolutely off the wall hilarious, and they did a great job with that. And everything. I will say some jokes were overplayed in here. There's one that I thought was pretty funny at first when the little baby starts saying yes and everything. It's really funny at first, like the first couple times, but then they overplay it so much that it just isn't as funny. Same with this joke about Jack wearing a breast pump that looks like an actual boob that was molded out of a breast, out of his daughter's breast and stuff, to feed little Jack, the baby, and stuff and everything. They overplay that joke as well and everything. So there are some jokes that they do overplay, but there are some that are really good too and everything. But this one isn't near as funny as the first movie either and everything. So I will say it's definitely not as good as the first, but it's still a really good sequel and everything. And I think all of the returning cast are great. Ben Stiller and Terry Polo once again have really great chemistry, and De Niro and Blythe Danner are really great in here too, as Jack and the mom of the Burns family. They're both really, really good in here, and I really like Greg's parents too. They're really likable. Dustin Hoffman does a really, really excellent job in this movie as Greg's dad. He works really, really good with Ben Stiller, and he's really, really funny, but also really likable and stuff too. And Barbara Streisand is really good too. She fits in the movie really well, and they have really good chemistry with the rest of the cast and are welcome additions. Everything. So I enjoyed the cast in this movie quite a bit. So, all in all, I think this is a rare comedy sequel that does a good job at standing on its own and expanding the story really well and everything. It's not quite on the same level as the first movie, but it's still a really good sequel, and it's still, to me, it's a classic, and this is one of those rare comedy trilogies where I really enjoy all the movies in it, and I think this one was just as good. as it could have been and everything. I think it could have been way worse and everything. It was better than it could have been for sure. So, yeah. Anyway, I'd go as far to say I'd give this movie an 8 out of 10. It's a really solid sequel and a really funny movie and everything. So, anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Meet the Fockers. I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.